Your parents would always say to watch what is going around you. People can be crazy and steal you, or even ask questions about where you're going, and even more personal questions. What would you do? Would you answer the questions truthfully? Would you make the wrong decision? Well, in this case, you can learn from a girl who made the wrong choice and told the bad person where she was heading to. And this is the story of Little Red Riding Hood by Charles Perrault. Once upon a time, there was a girl who was loved by everyone who looked at her, but most of all, her grandmother. When she was little, she was given a cap of velvet, which suited her really well, so she would wear nothing but that. So she was always called Little Red Riding Hood. One day, "Come along, Little Red Riding Hood. Here's a piece of cake and a wine bottle. Take them to your grandmother. She is ill and weak. They will do her good. Set out before it gets too high. When you're going, walk nicely and quietly. Do not run off the path. You may fall and break the bottle. Then your grandmother will get nothing. And when you go into her room, don't forget to say good morning." "Don't worry, Mom. I will take great care of this. I will make sure to be on the path and stay safe. Bye now." After what her mom has told her, she set out to go to her grandmother's house. While there, she was walking through the forest alone, staying on the path like her mom said to. She curiously looked around and observed the nature around her. Then, out of nowhere, a wolf appeared and said, "Good day, Little Red Riding Hood." Since Little Red Riding Hood never knew much about talking to strangers or about this wild wolf, she was not afraid of him and said, "Thank you, kindly wolf." "Why are you wandering away so early?" "Oh, I am off to my grandmother's." "What do you have in the basket?" "I have cake and wine. Yesterday was baking day, so poor sick grandmother is to have something good to make her stronger." "Where does your grandmother live, Little Red Riding Hood?" "A good quarter further on the wood. Her house stands under the 3 oak trees. The nut trees are just below. Surely you must know it." The wolf thought to himself for a second. What a tender young creature. What a nice plump mouthful. She'll be better to eat than the old woman. So I must catch both. The wolf walked with her for a while, then stopped and looked at the flowers and thought of something to distract her. "See, Little Red Riding Hood, how pretty flowers are here. Why don't you look around? I believe there are some flowers around you can pick for your grandmother." Little Red Riding Hood's eyes lit up with joy. She quickly went off the path and said, "I'm sure Grandma wouldn't mind if I was late for a little bit. I'll get her some flowers." The wolf thought to himself, "Hey, this is my time to strike." Since Little Red Riding Hood was distracted by picking the pretty flowers for her grandmother, the wolf quickly ran off to where her grandmother lived. With the wolf, he quickly ran to the door of Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother and knocked on the door. "Who is it?" "It's me, Little Red Riding Hood. I came to deliver your baked goods from Mother. May I come in, please?" "I'll just open the latch." He quickly did what the grandmother told him and entered the house, where he quickly ran up to the grandmother and ate her. Nom. He knew Little Red Riding Hood was not far off, so he quickly locked the door, got into her clothing, laid in the bed, and acted like he was her grandmother. "Who is it?" "It's me, Little Red Riding Hood, your grandmother. I came to deliver the baked goods Mom sent me to give you." "Lift the hatch." Before she left the hatch, Little Red Riding Hood had an uneasy feeling that something bad was going to happen. She didn't mind it and walked in, closing the door behind her. "Good morning, Grandma." "Oh, Grandmother, what big ears you have." "Better to hear you with, my child." "But, Grandmother, what big eyes you have." "Better to see you with, my dear." "But, Grandmother, what large hands you have." "The better to hug you with." Oh, but, Grandmother, what terrible big mouth you have." "The better to eat you with." He quickly jumped out of the bed and ate Little Red Riding Hood. Nom. Right after Little Red Riding Hood was eaten by the wolf, he was full, so he laid down on the bed and slept, in which he snored loudly. After that, there was a hunter. While he passed by, he heard the wolf's loud snoring. So he walked in and saw the wolf. He wondered where the grandmother was. So he went into action. He quickly took out his knife and cut open the stomach of the wolf. Then Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother was able to escape out of there. Right after that, the hunter quickly grabbed rocks from outside, filled up the belly of the wolf with it. Later, when the wolf woke up, he wanted to run, but he couldn't, as the rocks were too heavy, and he collapsed and died. So the lesson learned from Little Red Riding Hood is always to be aware of what or who is around you. People are crazy and really scary sometimes. So we should always be careful, and we need to learn from what Little Red Riding Hood has taught us, and not to trust people you don't know, because sort of things can happen like this.